show. I am your host, Nhat Pham, and alongside me, of course, is Digital Knight Sean Francis.
Good morning. This is the show for all your entrepreneurs, salespeople, professionals, to give you tips, tricks, and of course technology to be more successful here on the road.
Happy Monday, July 22nd, 2013. Really cool day today. We got a big baby watch going on.
Watch.
A little royal baby watch.
Oh, is it coming?
Yeah, I think it's already here. I don't know. I haven't checked lately, but it's blowing up Twitter and how that affects you and your business world.
Gotcha.
We're going to be talking a little Twitter, of course, because
That's what we do.
that's what we do, and that's starting to hit the news and how that enhances productivity there.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a little Tumblr. How Tumblr for?
Oh man.
I know, we got to keep the few viewers we got, right?
Yeah. That's tough there. I wonder who even knows that, remembers that. That's dating us there.
Depends on who's watching.
Yeah, that is dating
Depends on who's
us.
watching. If they were born pre-1980, I think they're okay.
Yeah.
Post-1980?
Yeah, I know.
You don't remember that? You know who saying that?
Oh, I remember that. Boy George.
Boy George, right? You need a clap. Couple things on. A lot of interesting news. A little fun fact on apps. A little situation I had actually on the Kindle side, similar with what you're going to be talking about today.
Oh, cool.
Big refund that they had a issue. We're going to be talking about a SIM hack. I actually was going to bring that one up. I'm glad you're going to be talking about it too.
Awesome.
We're going to be talking a little privacy or lack of it
Okay.
from Microsoft.
Yeah.
They're letting us know a little bit more, and we're going to talk a little Chrome Firefox, which happens to lead into our free segment of the day, brought to you by the SuccessWorks Social Media Dashboard, where you can manage all your social media in one place, including YouTube and Instagram now.
Awesome.
Exciting. Still working on Pinterest for folks who are asking. On their end, not ours. Okay, just FYI. So, what's going on in the news? Kate, about to have a baby, or is having her baby, and why does that affect you? Okay,
I'm really kind of curious how it does affect me. I'm waiting for this one.
a lot of reasons that what's it called? The royal baby is going to affect you. Is that productivity? Yeah, it kind of dips a little bit when big news happens.
You know,
okay?
I never even thought about that, but what does everybody spend their time doing? Online, watching, kind of reading?
Seeing what's going on, the Twitter feed. It's
Never even thought about that.
all 10, in England, it's all 10, or the top 10 of the top Twitter trends
Okay.
has to do with the baby.
Really?
Yeah. Royal baby, Kate Middleton,
Interesting.
all those hashtags. In the United States, of course, top 2 or 3, depending on the moment. That's trending as well between Kate Middleton and, nobody cares about the Prince really right now. Royal baby is the big hashtag, okay? And the other reason why it affects you is because if you're trying to roll out any news right now,
Yes.
and particularly if women is your sector, forget about it.
Done.
If you can put it on hold, put it on hold, wait till tomorrow, because nobody cares about your news right now.
Yeah.
Particularly your audience, if that's your demographic. Guys like us, hey, you might be able to hit that demographic. We're probably cool, but you're still going to be clogged and cluttered in our feed. So we're going to be seeing, if we jump on our feed right now, particularly on Twitter, you're going to see all this baby watch stuff.
Interesting.
And so it's going to be harder for us to see, we may not care as much, but it's going to clutter the news feeds.
Gotcha.
So keep those things in mind. Or if you can piggyback something. Now, if that's your audience and your industry happens to be kids' toys, big stuff, bam,
play right
perfect.
into that.
And you can do the whole Oreo thing like in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
You can play off of that. You just got to kind of know your time, and you got to really kind of think ahead. What's going on in the news? That's the most critical thing we work with clients. We've gotten a little bit of PR because of that. Just, hey, what's the timing?
Yes.
Because it's so
Things are time
real
sensitive.
time. Yeah.
And making sure that it's appropriate for the timing of what's going on in the news. If it's depends upon the news. If it's good news, you want to promote something good. If it's bad news, you don't start trying to promote your product or bad news. Trying to steal that spotlight.
Right, exactly. So, these folks here, kind of jacking things up a little bit. I shouldn't say jacking, changing things up a little bit for you, okay? I was about to post that earlier, and I forgot to, okay? So, moving on from there, Twitter. It's news these days, okay? That's how a lot of people get their news. 500 million now.
That's a lot.
A lot, 500 million. Give or take a few mil.
Yeah.
Okay? Still a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
Okay? And what's even more important, a lot of influencers.
Yes.
So beware of that. A lot of people say, oh, I don't care. There is a bigger and bigger Twitter play. Now it's absolutely mainstream. People say, well, I'm not on Twitter. I know a lot of people aren't on Twitter. You know what? I know a lot of people who don't watch the Neil Lehrer report. Doesn't mean that it's not an influential area. Or
Yes.
I don't watch a lot of CNN.
People say I don't actually get on the stock market, but yet that does influence everything that they do.
Yeah, exactly. So Twitter is a major play, whether you think you're going to have a big following or not. People pick up on that news, and you can drop into different feeds. So something really important to consider. And again, if you can actually drop in on pop culture in a timely manner, it actually will lift your message.
Gotcha.
Product, services, whatever the case may be, if it's done smartly.
Very good to know.
All right. So next, I'm going to turn it over to you with Apple. Tell us a little bit about what happened and why there is this big refund.
Yes. Well, apparently, for those of you that don't know, a lot of times they've got a lot of these parents who they buy these iPads and things like that, and they let their kids play with them.
So yeah, I'm right too. Like I'm hanging out. I let my little daughter jump on it, play with it. Sometimes I just hand it over. I got other stuff to do. I got my iPhone.
Yes. Well, one of these big things that they have on this stuff is called in-app purchases. And in-app purchases, if you're playing a game or doing something where it allows you to buy more, use coins. If you haven't earned the coins, you can go and use real money to buy stuff. Like if you're playing a game, you can buy another levels, buy unlimited lives and things like that. I know my kids are always trying to do this kind of stuff. Well, these in-app purchases, they can cost you physical money. And apparently there was a little girl, an 8-year-old girl, who racked up a $6,000 iPad bill with some in-app purchases. I mean, I guess my first thing is like, how do you not realize, how can these software vendors, allow you to do this? $6,000 of in-app purchases. I mean, it's like, dude, I mean, who's going to be doing that regularly? I mean, that's just crazy, as far as I'm concerned. Second, the thing I guess that kind of bothered, and Apple refunded this, by the way, to this father, which is kind of interesting. But the thing I thought was really interesting, which I thought was curious, Apple kept sending them saying, hey, thanks for this purchase, all this other stuff. He's like, well, I just ignored those. I didn't know what those were, and all this stuff. And but then he called and said, well, I need you to refund this. At first they were like, no, they weren't going to do it. Then they did. That was pretty cool, and they've done that to a number of people. They're setting a precedence with that is kind of my thoughts on this. And even someone had commented, hey, maybe they ought to split the cost. Apple pay for half, Dad pay for half, because again, that's the whole thing. If you let your kid drive your car and your kid crashes your car, you're still responsible. You don't say, well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Right.
And again, I'm not saying that he should be responsible for it. I think that some of these software vendors should be a little bit more
forthcoming.
Yes, on some of these things. I know that on my kids, they've got Kindles. I block it so they can't do in-app purchases. Specifically for that, because I don't want them to
This is the app, by the way.
Yes.
This is some course app thing. And by the way, just FYI, you're recording on last week's show. I don't know what I screwed up.
I noticed that. I just wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah. We're recording on 7:15 instead of 7:22.
You're not talking to the audience.
No, I'm talking to Tyler, by the way. My cameraman, my awesome cameraman. He had a little accidental delay, so I don't know if we just roll with this or not. So this is kind of live. I don't know, configuration here. Do we need to switch it or we leave it, Tyler? And I just let everybody know on Twitter, just let everybody know. If you're watching, and you figured it out.
Anyways, what was it? Like I say, the father was actually saying, I might have to sell a car or one of my motorcycles, So he's apparently, I think he's an aerospace engineer or something like that. He's not hurting, he's not hurting for money. But again, it's one of those things that you're still a parent, and if you're giving your kids devices and things like that to go online and do this stuff, you really need to make sure you're paying attention to what you're giving them. You know, again, I have to applaud Apple for refunding it. I think that was great. But again, I also think they're setting a precedence because that's happened a number of times where people are doing this kind of stuff. And, you know, I think that parents need to feel some of the pinch on that and realize that, you know, we are living in a different world, a different society. You can't give a kid a gun and go play with this or not, you know. Same thing with, you know, and I'm not trying to compare that to a computer, but in the same instance, there's still repercussions on different things. You need to make sure you're protecting your kids from what they're doing.
Luckily for me, when it happened to me, the deal was, I don't let you delete events very easily. All right, I had it through Kindle and I got email alerts. So as soon as I saw like the third one, I was like, okay, something's wrong.
Yeah.
And then I had to go chase down my kids and said, what are y'all doing? And baby girl was buying gems and stuff for a little pony.
Gotcha.
All right, so anyways, yeah, so make sure you keep those things in mind and life will be a lot less frustrating.
Yes.
All right, staying in the vein of Apple, we have bigger and better, I don't know about better, but bigger iPhones and iPads.
Okay.
And the news is that they are testing bigger iPhones as well as iPads.
Okay.
So let me pull up that image for you. Where is that image? Wow, that's a big image. If you're used to that, it's going to be bigger. It's going to go from 4.7 to 5.7, so kind of like a Galaxy S4.
Wow, that's a big jump.
That's a huge jump, but there's a lot of people have migrated because of that screen.
Yes.
You know what's funny is I used to always want a bigger screen. Now I like my small screen. I had a little bump up on iPhone, and that was actually a little much for me.
Yeah.
But it was tolerable.
Yeah.
5.7 is way too big for me.
It definitely is a bigger screen, but I think what's interesting about this, and it actually comes into play. My wife is now looking to need to get a new phone, and she's got a smaller phone, and let her been using my Galaxy S3, and she's like, it's too big. Well, she used it for a little while, and then she was like, you know what, this isn't so bad. And then she saw the S4. She's like, well, it's only a little bit bigger. I might actually be able to do this. I think it's kind of you got to kind of grow into it. One of those things.
Right.
But you say that you don't like it bigger. You still want to try and stay small.
I like it compact. I can see the screen. If I need it bigger, then I'll go to my laptop, my iPad, whatever the case may be.
Interesting.
That's me.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's different, but I don't know. That's how I roll. So
that's a big jump, though.
That's
4.7 to 5.7.
They're trying to, right now it's kind of funny. They are actually trying to play catch up. Normally, when they first started rolling out, since the beginning, even back to the Newton, even though it did pick up, it basically became the iPhone.
Yeah.
Is that they've been always the leader.
They're the market leaders.
Now they're chasing. I think without Jobs, that innovation has diminished. They don't know what the next big thing. They're saying, how do we keep up with the market? Instead of, okay, you know what, they have that, let's leapfrog to the next one.
Yeah.
And they haven't done that since iPad.
Yeah.
Really. I mean,
you're right.
It's like 5-6 years now. They're really due for one. And I think they lost again in taking advantage of the eye goggles or eye glasses for them.
Yeah,
I don't know where they're going to go.
Samsung is actually, they've got the S4, they've got the Note 3 that's getting ready to come out that's going to be even a bigger screen, so that Samsung has really been playing into having a whole variety of different sizes to be able to have available to the users. And that way it kind of gives the end users the choice to pick what they want, where Apple typically has been in the past, here's what you get, here's what you've got, you don't have much of a choice.
Right.
I'm glad that they're going to this option to be able to give that out there, but I think they are coming a little bit late to the game, and it's a big jump. They kind of need to. I think they need to kind of gradually go to that.
I think they were actually smart. They're going to be strong on. I think it's the iPad Mini. That's the one that they play catch up. I think they're going to catch up a little bit on. I don't think they're going to dominate the market.
Yeah.
But they will catch up. My friend Jim Croakson there chiming in. He's looking at one. I would say stick with the Kindle.
Okay.
For him, because they got this playtime thing, or what's it called, free time?
Kindle free time.
Yeah, free time. We love free time. I have free time, and it's a few bucks a month, much cheaper. You get unlimited. We're digging it. You have one of those ruggedized little semi-rugged casing, and you're good to go. They are going to go, and I definitely don't suggest this because it's too big for them, is a 12-inch iPad as well. That's the other thing Apple's doing.
Okay.
They're testing it. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I think they're going to try to figure out every little section they can.
Yeah, well, and that gets into the size of kind of like what my tablet is, you know, where you're getting back into a more normal notepad size.
Right.
You know?
I think they're trying to compete with the Surface now.
Gotcha.
They're trying to jump into that. Okay. Where are we? Lost track. Trying to answer questions. So that's what happens. Large iPhone, iPad. So I said 12-inch, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Next, we have along the lines of iPhones is because ours operate on a SIM.
Yeah.
It's SIM hacks. You want to talk a little bit about SIM hacks and what a SIM is and all that?
Yeah. Well, for those of you that don't know, most of your cell phones actually run on a SIM. This is actually a chip that goes inside of it, whether it's hard coded directly into the phone. Or it's actually something you can put into it. I know, like with my AT&T phone, it's a little chip that you put in there, and this is actually what tells the phone everything who you are.
Yep.
So if you actually want to transfer from one phone to another, you take out this little chip and you put it into another phone, and you've now just transferred your identity, for lack of a better term. This is what handles your data plans, your voice plans, your phone number. It's everything. It's everything about you. Your credit card's associated with your account. Everything's based upon this little SIM chip.
You take the little chip and you can slap it on the phone back and forth. It used to be real easy until they came out with the iPhone.
Yeah.
And now they have the micro SIMs.
Yes.
But go ahead, continue.
So this little SIM chip, it's got security on it to be able to protect you. Some security encryption that was actually created back in the 70s by IBM. Well, apparently there is a security hack out there now on this. A gentleman by the name of Carlson Hull from the Security Research Labs in Berlin, he discovered the security flaw. And basically, it has to do with the technology that handles the security encryption of this. And this is affecting up to 750 million cell phones.
Yeah.
750 million cell phones. And basically what it means, this flaw, if you call it flaw,
Yeah.
it basically gives the people the ability to eavesdrop on a conversation.
Yeah.
Gives them the ability to make fraudulent purchases or impersonate basically the owner's phone.
Yeah.
Which is kind of scary.
Cloning. If you remember the what's it called? Movies like Born Identity.
Yes. Oh yeah, it's really, this is a big deal. The GSM Association, which kind of represents the cell phone industry, they've been notified on this, and they've actually been contacting the carriers and things like that, the members that are part of that,
Right.
that actually still run this technology. Again, the encryption was developed in the 70s by IBM. Now, in the past decade or so, the encryption level has been beefed up, but there's still a lot of phones and devices out there still running on this older technology that's not been beefed up. So they didn't give us any list as to kind of who's this can happen to and who's not. My guess is that if you're running a newer phone,
Yeah.
you're probably okay, especially with the newer smartphones.
With the micro SIMs in particular.
Exactly. So if you've got an older phone, and you maybe not have all the smartphone stuff, you may have the ability of someone to be able to hack into this. I'm sure that there's going to be more coming out on this, be able to kind of help in with the encryption, but just kind of pay attention to that, be aware.
And it's, if I recall correctly, it's the triple AD or DES encryption or something to that effect. What is it called? GSM call encryption. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick here. Yeah, triple DES encryption. God, they're breaking a standard DES?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
that's impressive. Because DES is pretty hard.
Yes.
So they've gone up to a triple DES encryption. So these newer ones should be okay for now, anyways.
Yes.
Until.
Yeah. So if you're running on an older phone, you may want to look at seeing about possible upgrade.
Yep.
Before someone upgrades for you.
Yeah, and you know what? If you read it, it actually only takes like 2 minutes for
Yeah.
them to hack that. It takes a couple text message.
Kind of scary.
Yeah, they take and see what information comes back, and then the next text message. And you can do this with just a regular old laptop or PC.
Yes.
So, wild stuff. Okay, moving on. We're gonna go, little boy George. Go out Tumblr for you. All right, Tumblr. It is a combination of a Twitter / Instagram, very picture oriented, very strong on the social media as far as length of time.
Okay.
Eyeball time, and they've had some issues in the past with password, just like everybody. So it's a microblogging website, very strong in the fashion industry. creative industry, arts, and those type of things. But other people use it too. Great for SEO and so forth. And they've gotten a bunch of new features, such as double dashboard updates. They're introducing activity feed, and they're going to launch a new way to view the notes in it as well.
Okay.
So here's again, all these sites have great analytics, and we're working to pull those analytics in and see what they mean. So on our dashboard, we actually are able to handle Tumblr as well.
Oh, awesome.
So yeah, that's one dashboard. Just work on that Pinterest one, and we will be okay. Pinterest, hook us up, help us out, make the API right, and we'll be good to go.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so Tumblr, it is a play, particularly if you're in those industries such as, like I said, fashion, maybe arts and foods and those type of things. But if you just want straight SEO and you have our dashboard, you just plug it in, plug and play, and you're good to go, and it'll automatically post for you. So, pretty cool stuff.
Awesome.
All right, moving on. What do we have? God, we're there already? All right, we're making good time. Oh, I almost missed out. My bad. Didn't do it the exact order I wanted. So let's talk a little Microsoft.
Yes. So
tell us. What's going on with Microsoft?
Microsoft is actually trying to respond to the whole NSA security scandal, where they were basically going out there and requesting from Microsoft, Google, some of these other big companies, all this personal information about us that we're hearing, from the scandal and all that stuff.
Right.
Well, Microsoft is actually trying to be a little bit more, open to the public and kind of let them know what's going on. Apparently, well, one, for businesses and things like that that are running their business operations through the Microsoft network, none of that was ever given. This is only for kind of like some of the Outlook.com stuff, from what I understand. The only time that the business stuff was given was apparently only in 4 cases. It was actually requested by the end user. It was for legal purposes and things like that. But on the other stuff, what Microsoft is actually requesting to do is they want to be able to actually alert the public and let them know, hey, the NSA has requested this information from these types of people, and they want to
give you a heads up.
They basically want to, they want to say, hey, hey, Nat, Microsoft, the government's asking about you, just as a heads up, which and they're not here, and so far, apparently they're not hearing back from the NSA. They've made these requests, and they haven't gotten the information back to be able to move forward with that, which I find that kind of interesting, because to me, I guess that is kind of a violation. If someone's asking information about you and they're trying to go out there and pull records about you, personal information,
without a warrant or anything like that.
Exactly. They should be able to do that. They should be able to come and let you know and say, hey, we'll go ahead and give you this information, but we're going to go ahead and let this individual know. And it does kind of teeter a fine line, because how do you gather information about somebody, if you're trying to find out stuff about them behind the scenes that hey, maybe this is a person of interest, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Do you want to alert them?
Yeah. Do you want to set that off? And what if they really are a bad guy?
Yeah. So it does teeter on a fine line as to on how do you let these people know that kind of stuff. Maybe it's something we're going to say, okay, we're going to give you this information, but you've got 60, 90 days to be able to, before we're going to let the person know. I don't know exactly how they're going to do it, but it really comes down to Microsoft saying, hey, you're asking this information from us for our customers. We'll provide it for you, but we want to be able to let them know what we're getting, things
Absolutely.
like that. But unfortunately, they have not heard back from the Justice Department on that yet.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out a PR spin, I'm guessing.
Yes,
Okay.
if one at all.
Gotcha. Okay. And I'm trying to do a better job for Tyler here, our videographer, making sure we're hitting the images the way we want. Now it's time for our free segment of the day, brought to you by the SuccessWorks social media dashboard. Like I said, you can manage all your social media in one place. I need like a free segment image. I need to work on that. We need to work on that. I know you do it on post. By the way, if you aren't able to catch this in the future, we are now on YouTube.
Gotcha.
Post the following day. We don't do it same day. It takes a little time to. I'm gonna have to show it to you really quickly afterwards. Yeah, Tyler does a great job adding sound effects and stuff like when we go in the air on the road. It goes. It's really cool. I dig it.
I'll check it out.
And he will do the applauses and stuff like
Nice.
that. So I'm digging it. If you really want to enjoy the show,
Watch it
watch it on YouTube. You don't get to interact, but really entertaining. on the YouTube channel. Again, that one's easy, youtube.com/Road Warrior Show. Unfortunately, when we went to live stream, they wouldn't let us carry our name over for whatever reason.
Gotcha.
So it's the Road Warrior Show. Anyways, with that, I want to talk to you about a free segment today, brought to you by the Successful Social Media Dashboard, where you can manage all your social media, except for Pinterest, in one place. That's on them. Again, I really wanted, because people keep asking for this, and I'm like, hang on. Anyways, one of the things that it's always a tricky proposition for us is Twitter refreshes. So when you have like a Twitter chat, so if you're on, a lot of times you'll have experts where you have like a hashtag, like say we wanted one that says maybe Road Warrior should be a little long for a hashtag, but RRS 2013 or something hashtag, and we wanted just to have dialogue and people ask us questions and we type the things back and forth.
Gotcha.
One of the challenges, it doesn't auto refresh. You got to keep on hitting refresh.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you're trying to answer questions. You wonder if there's more questions, and you can't. It's harder to prioritize questions. There is 2 tools you can use if you want to stay in the free side. There's a lot of other things like our dashboard and those type of things. But if you're using Chrome or what is it called? Firefox, Mozilla Firefox, you actually have these apps that you can install right into your browser. I said right into your browser. Where is it? I'll stick here for you. You just go ahead and install it, and you just add to Chrome. It's called Refresh for Twitter. Refresh for Twitter.
Gotcha.
So if you are using Chrome, that's an extension you can use to help you view it. Okay? And one of the other tools, so if you are a Mozilla fan, there's still a lot of Mozilla fans out there. There's a lot of niceties to Firefox.
It's actually, there's a lot of people that do it for security reasons too. You know, and that's one of the big things that Mozilla typically has been a higher level security browser than like Internet Explorer.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day. The next one is auto refresh Twitter. Okay, auto refresh Twitter. That's an extension add-on. So if you're not familiar to add-ons, it's these little extensions here. You know, I have my LastPass extension. I got my Amazon extension. I have no clue what that extension is, but I use it. Must use it for whatever reason often. And that allows your Twitter to refresh on a regular basis, again, without having to buy a lot of different tools, you know, whether it's our dashboard or some other dashboard. And it's just tricky sometimes just to have that rolling there, but this is nice. Again, if you want real-time refreshes, that's the way to go.
Yeah, these are the same things as like you get apps for your phone. Yep. These are add-ins or extensions, whatever you want to call them, for your browser world. And again, these are the same type of things. Like if you can ever view a PDF, within your browser, that's an add-on. So these are just different types of add-ons to be able to give you more functionality within your browser world.
Definitely. Cool. So that's just 9:29, perfect timing. So that's pretty much the end of the show. You can follow us, of course, at Nhat Pham and Sean at TagVA. Whenever we talk about it, we need a Road Warrior Show one. It's just I got so many Twitter handles. It's kind of hard to keep up.
I hear you.
The Successworks one, just my personal one, all the other social media. I don't know if I can handle another ID. We'll have to get an intern one day to do that. Anyways, with that in mind, we'll be back next Monday, same Nhat Time, Nhat channel.
Yes.
9 a.m. Eastern time. All right. So, till next time.
I'm Digital Knight, Sean Francis.
And I'm the social media samurai, Nhat Pham. Until we connect on LinkedIn, friend each other on Facebook, circle up on Google+, pin on Pinterest, tumble on Tumblr. I can keep on going, but I won't. On Twitter, Sean's at TagVA. I'm at Nhat Pham. Until next week, be successful and stay social.
See ya.